This question situates Glass-Steagall as a life and death issue. Everything we would do with Glass-Steagall is defined by the legacy of monetarism that has created a situation today where our species has destroyed itself under the guise of honoring the no future doctrine of a monetary organization of society. Glass-Steagall would obviously end that legacy once and for all. But also, situate Glass-Steagall in the context of what's required for the survival of the human species now and into the future. We now sit on the verge, potentially, of the extinction of our species. As was pointed out in the LaRouche PAC weekly report today, 99% of the species that have ever existed on the planet have gone extinct in periods of our galaxy's history that coincide with certain of our galactic cycles, the same galactic cycles that we are entering into right now, which corresponds to the increasing volcanic activity, seismic activity here on Earth, and the creation and destruction of new species. The challenge posed by our immediate activation of Glass-Steagall is therefore, can we survive as a species while proudly wearing the yoke of monetarism that says we have to let people die for budgetary considerations? Ask yourself, are we actually fit to survive if we don't make the kinds of scientific breakthroughs that lead to a mastery of the things going on in the galaxy that's determining the things here on Earth right now? But will we even get to that point if a United States under the Glass-Steagall law is not the primary economic organization of the United States? So the meaning of Glass-Steagall is literally wrapped up in what the meaning of your life is. What is the meaning of our lives if we fail to create the future by ramming through Glass-Steagall as a necessary requirement for creating that future? The way mankind develops is to organize society around a future state yet to be, and do everything we need to do, create all the proper platforms in the present to get to the next platform in the future. But this is not some gradual, inevitable process. It's moments like the one we're in right now that man must take willful, decisive action, as no other animal can, to survive now and into the future. And Glass-Steagall is the beginning of that future. As many of you may know, the Glass-Steagall Act has been sitting in the Congress, waiting impatiently for members of Congress to grow the guts to ram it through. Asking the question, what are they waiting for, is irrelevant at this point. Knowing the tendencies of the Congress generally, what are we waiting for is the question.
If you put that act through, suddenly all this wonderful bailout money, gone. It goes to Wall Street. Wall Street, you got it. You can keep it. Just don't bother us with it. Our banks will be freed of any of this garbage money. This bailout money will just go away from our banks. We will then take measures that's the thing that's going to drive the president out of office. He'll quit. He'll give up. That defeats him. If you don't do that, he defeats you. If you do that, you defeat him. And you'll get him out. And if you don't do that step, that way, you're not going to save the United States. You sold it down the river. You were a coward or a traitor or whatever. Huh?
So we do not tolerate the lonely bill sitting in Congress waiting. We must adopt it now. Now later in this same presentation, when discussing the urgency of getting the Glass-Steagall Act now, Mr. LaRouche also posed the question of what to do with Glass-Steagall as a way to underscore the urgency of passing it now.
We face two existential crises. Number one, right now, if this president is not removed from office under the terms of the 25th Amendment, Section 4, kiss the United States goodbye. You're on a short lease, a short moment of opportunity. Now, the thing you have to do to get this president out, you have to get some guts and some members of Congress who do not make deals. but who do what they know has to be done. Now, this is like a decision in warfare. When you decide to go to war, and we're going to war against the British influence internationally, you don't negotiate each foxhole. You make a decision to win the war and plan the battle and conduct the battle to win the war. That's what we have to do. Now, how do we win the war? Well, you've got to get a little bit of an army. And the army is the people who are going to kick the members of Congress in the rear end. Citizens who are going to kick the members of Congress in the rear end. Give them that old uplifting treatment. And say, no more compromises, no more this and that. We want one straight thing from you guys. Otherwise, your name is mud. We want you to vote for the original Franklin Roosevelt 1933 Glass-Steagle Act. And if you don't do that, get out of town. Get out of the nation. Because you will have betrayed the United States.
And mobilize, as in warfare, to do everything it takes to get Glass-Steagall in. If we don't, Mother Nature will not be very forgiving, as she has displayed very much so in the past. So that's all for your World in Review tonight. Make sure you rewatch, if you haven't done it already, the webcast of yesterday. And make sure you watch today's weekly report. So once again, this is Ed Hamler signing off. We'll see you tomorrow.